GamingBolt presents 15 things you need to know before you buy Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Super Smash Bros. Is a celebration of all things Nintendo, though with the addition of more and more major third-party characters with each successive entry, it's gotten to a point where it's just a celebration of video games in general. As such, when a series like that gets what is inarguably the culmination of everything it has ever done and stood for, as the name Ultimate implies, you know it's going to be a big deal. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is looking to live up to its name many times over, and with its launch getting closer and closer, the excitement surrounding the game is through the roof. In this feature, we're going to cover 15 vital pieces of information that you should know before the game releases. Roster. As the game's central premise, everyone is here, makes it very clear that the core hook of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is that it brings together every fighter that has ever been featured in a Smash game. That means it has over 70 characters at launch and over 80 in total, and is the first game in the series since Super Smash Bros. Melee to not cut any character that was included in a preceding game. Characters that have featured in the series but were missing from the previous installment, such as Pichu, Solid Snake, Young Link, and Ice Climbers, are all going to come back. New characters. But of course, it's not just about the older characters. Several new faces will also be joining the fight. Some of the most notable among these are longtime Metroid antagonist Ridley, Animal Crossing's Isabelle, Donkey Kong's King K. Rool, the Inklings from Splatoon, and a few others that we'll be speaking about in a bit. Notably, Simon Belmont of the Castlevania games is also stepping into the ring, joining an ever-increasing list of major third-party characters in Smash. Ecco Fighters. What were previously referred to as clones in Smash games are going to be given a distinct category in and of itself: Ecco Fighters. So what are these? Ecco Fighters are characters that are based on other characters that are already in the game, and have more or less the same movesets and attacks as the characters that they're based on, with some minor changes as well as changes to their visual design. Daisy is an echo of Peach, Dark Pit is an echo of Pit, Dark Samus an echo of Samus, Lucina an echo of Marth. Meanwhile, 3 fresh faces are in the roster. Fire Emblem Awakening's Chrom, Street Fighter's Kin, and Castlevania's Richter Belmont are echoes of Roy, Ryu, and Simon. Changes to Pokemon Trainer. Anyone who picks the Pokemon Trainer as their main in Super Smash Bros., all 5 of you, knows that Pokemon Trainer is actually 3 different characters and not just one, with access to 3 different Pokemon that you send out to fight. And Pokemon Trainer is going to become a much more attractive choice for all Smash players with Ultimate, so now there will be at least 14 of you. While earlier, you would automatically cycle between your Pokemon in a specific order. Now, you'll be able to swap out Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard at will and on the fly in the middle of battles. Also, you can now play as a female Pokemon trainer. Assist Trophies. Several new characters are also being added as assist trophies. These include Shovel Knight, Konami's Bomberman, Alucard from Castlevania, Rathalos from Monster Hunter, who is also a boss in the game's adventure mode, which we'll get into in just a bit, Cap'n from Animal Crossing, Zero from Mega Man, and the Squid Sisters from Splatoon. DLC. But that's not it as far as characters in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is concerned. When Masahiro Sakurai says Ultimate, he freaking means it. But perhaps delivering us 6 more characters through fragmented DLC is not that good of an idea. Of these 6 characters, 1 has already been announced, that being Piranha Plant from Super Mario. The other 5 remaining DLCs will each include an additional character and a new stage. On top of that, those who have the Fighter's Pass will get access to a Mii costume that looks like Rex's outfit from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, while Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Spirits, which we'll get into in just a bit, are also going to be part of that package. Stages. Not counting the 5 stages that will be added to the game post-launch, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate will launch with a total of 103 stages. Of these, 96 will be returning stages from previous games, while 7 will be completely new additions. Smash Ultimate also adds the option to let players play in Omega or Battlefield forms of each stage. In Omega form, each stage will be reduced to a single platform, similar to the structure of Final Destination, while in Battlefield form, each stage will have a 3-platform design similar to Battlefield. In both of these design forms, the visual design and backgrounds for all stages will remain the same as their default forms. New stages. Of these 7 new stages, 2 will be new renditions of Battlefield and Final Destination, just like every other Smash game ever made, while Big Battlefield, which is basically Battlefield but, big, is also one of the new stages. The remaining 4 are Dracula's Castle from Castlevania, New Donk City Hall from Super Mario Odyssey, Great Plateau Tower from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Moray Towers from Splatoon. World of Light. Super Smash Bros. Games have had a bit of a patchy history with single-player campaigns. The Adventure mode in Melee was a decent mode, but nothing too special. Subspace Emissary in Brawl was certainly ambitious, and depending on who you ask, either the best or the worst thing the series has ever done. Ultimate, however, is going for something completely bonkers, called World of Light. It features what looks like a proper, dramatic story setup with stakes, voice acting, exciting new mechanics, actual progression, basically everything the fans of the series has been asking and demanding to see in the adventure modes. Spirits. Another one of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's headlining additions is Spirits, which are essentially replacements for collectible trophies from previous Smash titles. Each spirit is based on a character and can be applied to your fighters to give them unique abilities depending on which spirit you used. Fighting against both the AI and other players will get you more spirits, which of course you can use to power up your characters even more. Spirits will tie in with the core progression in the World of Light campaign quite a bit. Faster gameplay. One of the main aims of the development team while making Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has been to speed up the action, for which they've made several changes to the gameplay. For instance, Final Smashes have been sped up, and as such, several characters have received completely new Final Smash moves. Characters also have higher initial speeds, as well as higher deceleration while being attacked or launched. Air dodges are also much quicker, while full hops, mid-air jumps, and pummels have also been sped up. Additionally, taunts are performed at quicker speeds and can be cancelled entirely. Screen KOs are quicker and shields drop quicker, making the game much more attack-oriented and less focused on defense. New items. Items are part of the chaotic charm of any Super Smash Bros. Game, much like Mario Kart, although many Smash players do admittedly like to play with items turned off. In Smash Ultimate, on top of the many returning items, there will also be quite a lot of new ones. The most prominent of these is the fake Smash Ball, which looks almost identical to actual Smash Balls. Fake Smash Balls will appear quite infrequently, and if a player breaks one of these, all characters around it will be launched into the air. Other new items include Healing Field, Black Hole, the Castlevania-themed Death Scythe, Kirby-themed Bomber, and the Fire Emblem-themed Killing Edge. Adjustable rule sets. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is looking to appeal to veteran fans of the series in several ways. Chief among them is the fact that you can customize the game and its rule sets quite a bit. For instance, players will also be given the option to turn off the Smash Ball and replace it with a more traditional meter known as the Smash Gauge that gradually fills up. Other things, such as how frequently specific items spawn right down to 0, and handicap settings can also be fiddled with. Stage hazards, of course, can also be turned off. You can essentially tailor a match's rules to the kind of fight that you want to have, while these rule sets can also be saved for future uses. Stage Morph. Another way that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is going to allow players to customize matches and their flow in new and unique ways is through a feature called Stage Morph. Using Stage Morph, players will be able to select 2 stages at the beginning of a fight, and in the middle of the fights that follow, the game will shift between the selected stages. That can happen either at random or in ways that can also be pre-decided by players, adding yet another layer of customizability. Music. Here's a staggering statistic for you. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate contains over 900 tracks of music pulled from across all franchises that it represents. That amounts to over 28 hours of music. Sorting through this massive library of tracks is also going to be made much more convenient because they are now sorted by franchise rather than by stages, while playsets can also be created. Players can now choose which tracks they want to listen to on which stage. And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from GamingBolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.